of the Holy Spirit, and he knows the Holy Spirit doesn't even move in noise. He doesn't even move in noise. But if you think about it, you have different cultures of church where there's certain people that go that are just loud, and some of them for no reason, no growth, just loud, aggressive. And then there are other churches where you have mature leaders, where people are coming to church with their books and their pens and they're taking notes. And then when they go to God in prayer, it's a whole different atmosphere. When they speak to demons, they're speaking to demons. They're not fighting with demons. That's a whole different dimension. And many times this dimension, it comes with time. I won't say age, but sometimes it takes many persons years for them to come into this dimension. But the more time you spend with God in prayer and you encounter him, is the more you come into this place. Prayer is not aggression. The fourth type of prayer is the prayer of intercession. There's some people that feel as if they don't pray and they're sweating and they're if they don't do that all the time, they haven't prayed. No. Prayer is you coming to God and having a conversation with him. That's simply it. A lot of what we see is called emotionalism. We have to be able to differentiate emotionalism and prayer. It's two different things. Over spiritualism and emotionalism. Emotionalism in prayer is when you go to God in prayer and you have beaten yourself up, you're out of breath, and then you end up having a certain encounter, and the next time you go to pray for the 15, 20 time for a whole season, 3 months you're praying and you're not having any encounters, and you're trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? You're trying to go on your face, you're trying to go on your knees, you're trying to pray the same tongue, you're trying to pray the same tongues, you're trying to go by the same mood, the same everything, you're using the same songs to get that same encounter. That encounter has passed. And it's time for God to reveal something greater to you. You will never always capture the same encounter you've had. You will never capture the same emotions you've had, because prayer is not a place of emotion. It's a place of encounter. It's a place of praying because you know, not praying because you want to feel. So some people will say, I'm praying, and I'm not having encounters. I'm not feeling what I once used to feel. Once upon a time, I used to feel the presence of God come. If I tell you when was the last time I went into my prayer closet and I had that encounter where it was goosebumps and it was emotions and I'm bawling my eyes out and doing the most, I don't have that all the time. I don't. Years ago, I used to be so afraid. What did I do to lose the presence of God? You did not lose the presence of God. You're looking for an emotional experience to validate your time in prayer. You feeling as though your prayer is not valid because you did not get a certain reaction while you were in prayer. You're looking for a certain emotional response that you had before to validate that you were in prayer and you encountered his presence. A lot of what we face with goosebumps and crying is not the presence of God. It is emotionalism. And then what we try to do is we guilt trip the Holy Spirit to showing up, and we begin to think about, what did I do that your presence is not coming? I've been struggling and I've been going through so much, have mercy. And you guilt trip the Holy Spirit to come in, and before you know it, you start crying and you think you're having an experience. You're in your emotion. Your soulish realm is praying and not your spirit, because your spirit understands by the knowledge of the things of God that prayer is not what you feel. Prayer is about what you know. This is why I said we will never have spiritual encounters in prayer until you have bring all three dimensions of your body, your soul, your spirit, and your body into the oneness of God. I'm redefining prayer. Prayer is not just a conversation and a dialogue you have with God. It's a supernatural place. Prayer is not a thing or just a conversation you have. Prayer is a place where you go to be with God. Prayer is a vehicle that you board and you're transported from one dimension to the next. Prayer is a place. Prayer is a vehicle. Prayer is a channel through which you hear God. We're redefining prayer. What is prayer? The next time somebody says, what is prayer? You ask them, based on what dimension do you want me to explain to you? Because prayer is many things. Let it marinate in your spirit.